Welcome back to Viking football with Bruce Barnum as the Vikings prepare for the University of Montana this Saturday. The game is going to be at Hillsboro Stadium. The Vikings move down Highway 26 to take on the Grizzlies. Kickoff 2 p.m. this Saturday. And Coach, to be fair and to be honest, it's been a little bit of a rough month of September. We were just talking about the bye weeks are as hard as maybe losing a football game because you don't quite feel right. It's been an unusual time with 2 byes in the last 3 weeks.
It is. Not the start we had hoped for, Mike, but the Vikes are 0-3, and here we go. Now we're going to get into a routine. We have 8 straight. We're in conference. I have great coaches and great kids, and I think you'll see some changes coming into Grizz Week.
And the Vikings' next 8 games, these are the 8 that really count. You play for a conference championship. Certainly a conference championship gets you in the NCAA playoffs, but you, at the very least, want to get as high as you can in the standings and give yourself a chance late in the season. As the Vikings get ready for Montana, we'll review UC Davis just briefly, and that is obviously a disappointing loss to the Aggies. Team came out a little bit flat. I think everybody is aware of that. What's a coaching response to that when your team comes out and kind of has a flat performance? Is there something maybe you adjust as you go back to practice the following week and get ready for the next opponent?
We changed bye week, number one, Mike, as far as how we practice, when we practice, days we practice. We went out to Hillsboro on Thursday to change up and show them the venue that we're going to be playing at for one game this year. And obviously you look at personnel hard. After a game like that, you look at yourself, my coaches. There's a lot of evals going on. But bottom line, and they know it, my coaches are smart, just like the public. You can't get 2 punts blocked. We got 2 punts blocked in that game. I haven't had a punt blocked since I've been coaching. Assistant or head coach. So erase that, we'll be in every game. And again, the people working on that are probably my coaches that have more attention to detail than anybody. So great job by UC Davis, number one, doing that in a game. But we can't let that happen.
Okay, and as we look ahead to the University of Montana, obviously we've seen some really good performances by the Vikings against BYU, against Oregon State. We know the potential of the team here. We know the talent the team has, and you do have a chance to finish September very strong against the University of Montana. Let's talk a little bit about their offense. They lost a quarterback a couple weeks ago, but they brought in a redshirt freshman, Gresh Jensen. That's kind of a tongue twister to say all that. And he's looked pretty good. He can sling it. University of Montana likes to put 4 wide receivers out there. Tough challenge for the Vikes.
It is. And they didn't lose a beat with Gresh coming in. He's very accurate, and I'm very impressed with his deep ball, his accuracy on that. And he got better every snap. But you have to be impressed with him at quarterback for them. They have some great football players. They have some great coaches. And their program, since the 80s when Mick and it got to where it is right now, it'll be a challenge. The Grizz coming to town, always is. So I like where we're at. We know where they're going to be for the most part. So we're ready to line up. And honestly, if you talk about the Grizz, clicking back for just a second, the bus kid on their football team, he's impressive. I think he's one of the best in the Big Sky.
And that was my next question, talking a little bit about their defense. Josh Buss, the linebacker, one of the best players in the Big Sky, no question. James Banks, another linebacker that very productive back there. And does that give you any pause, maybe perhaps in the running game for the Vikings?
It's going to be a challenge. I mean, that's our pride and joy, but the middle of their defense is tough. You've seen it every game they've played. Buss isn't a bus. Buss is a bullet train. That middle of the defense, we're going to have to keep them thinking, try to get them tired, but it won't be a knocking our head against the wall, trying to run up the middle of Montana's defense. We're a little smarter than that.
Okay, now the forecast for this Saturday has changed. They think rain coming into Portland, maybe that's a good omen. Last time the Vikings and the Grizz played 2 years ago on a Halloween night in the rain, a monsoon, mind you, the Vikings came out 35-16 winners. But I kind of sense these days, especially on artificial turfs, weather isn't too big of a factor. Maybe wind is more of a factor than rain.
It is. The mud's not there anymore. But 15, that game was a gully washer. I wouldn't really call that rain. It was a sheet of water. I couldn't even see their sideline.
I called it a monsoon, so. Okay.
as a mess. But it is. I heard there's rain in the forecast, but I will take anything. If that maybe makes a ball slip out of Montana's hands into the mighty Vikes, that's great. But we're prepared for it. Obviously, we live in the Northwest, and kids practice in the Northwest. It's kind of like Maui. You never know. 15 minutes later, what's going to be happening weather-wise. But be a minor factor. I mean, it's going to be a fight. You saw the scores in the Big Sky. There's so much parity in this league. People beating people that everybody's, what was that? So that's what it is. You better come to play on Saturday. I don't care if it's Montana or non-league against the lower division. You better come to play.
Okay, now I know obviously you've been working really hard to get this team revved up coming off that loss to Davis. So what will be the keys for the Vikings this Saturday?
The keys. We need 60 minutes. We can't. We've practiced this week. You saw us, Mike, these last 2 weeks, starting fast. We did the red ball deal. We came out at the beginning of practice, and just to get the tempo up, you have to play fast for 60 minutes. I thought our defense did a nice job for 2 quarters when they came out at halftime, and offense did at times. But again, to win in the Big Sky, you better play fast, you better be prepared, you better take care of the football.
All right, there it is. Vikings take on the Grizz this Saturday, Hillsboro Stadium, 2 p.m. Get your tickets. They're going fast. It's a smaller stadium. Get all your information on Viking football at govikes.com.